Hello once again, Star Wars unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, with another auction win. Yes, I went nuts on the auctions, okay? I did. If you watch my videos, you'll know that I did that. Actually, I just found this on my table. I forgot to put it in its display. I gotta make sure I do that. My Star Wars original. This is how the lightsabers, this is how they were originally. A flimsy tube of yellow color that fell apart instantly, and a flashlight. I still have to get D batteries to see if this works, but nonetheless, it's going in the collection. It's in pretty good condition otherwise. I mean, it's just a flashlight with a sticker on it. It's not a, but what I love is, and I know I shouldn't be talking about stuff from a previous video. You're just sitting there and I'm rambling, but I'm going to ramble anyway, because anything that has copyright 1977, which it says right here, very, very valuable, even in parts. Why? Because they were caught off guard. Nobody expected this movie, Star Wars, to be a huge, huge, huge hit. Okay, no one expected that. So they scrambled around and found whatever they could. They took things that already existed and slapped a Star Wars label on them. So they're kind of dumb, but they're valuable. So I like to have a few of those piecemeal in the collection. So that's that guy. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about this item from B&D Auction, or I should say items from B&D Auctions. So why don't we go right to it? And I just realized that my blade, this is not good. Okay, my blade came undone here, so that's kind of weird. All right, let me just get it in my little sleeve here, and then I have to get a new blade at some point. Yeah, these are kind of cheap, but just to do the cut is all I need right now. So 1 and 2 down this way, and you might notice I'm doing it upside down. Why? Well, because I've learned that sometimes if there's packing peanuts, they tend to put the stuff in first and the packing peanuts last. So here it looks like they did it both ways. So a lot of good that did. But let's just start taking items out. Now again, I did a lot of auctions over the past few weeks. Okay, this video is probably going out in early September, so I have no real way of knowing. I mean, I do have a real way of knowing. I could keep better track of it and let you know. And, but I kind of like being surprised. I know that the vast majority of what I purchase in auctions is Star Wars related. So I like kind of being like, oh yeah, surprised along with you. This is a very heavy item. I am not 100% sure what this is. So they do such a good job of packing it that it's hard for me to know for sure. It's like paper outside of plastic, outside of more paper. And I'm unwrapping and unwrapping and unwrapping and unwrapping and yep. Okay, this is another set. I'm just going to show it to you like this. These are micro figures, okay, from the micro collection from 1982. It looks like we got a lot of Hoth. We got a couple of them that look like they might be, I think I have to look and see if they have a list here. Some of them may actually be prototypes. We got the Han and Carbonite. We got Lobot. So this is great. And we got the Probot. We got some Snowtroopers. Looks like mostly it's 39 pieces, okay? Most of them are in fact Hoth with some Bespin, and it looks I do have a Luke Skywalker. So that's cool too. And I'm a New Hope Luke Skywalker. So these, my plan is for these is to see if I can find a series of loose and incomplete figures, or sorry, not figures, loose and incomplete play sets and vehicles from the micro series, and try to combine them together and then put them out for the sale. Okay, and also just to make sure there may be 1 or 2 that I don't have in my collection. I just want to make sure that they're all kind of accounted for. All right, so that's one item. What else we got? Ooh, so many cool. I love the different way that everybody spends money and time to paint them. All right, this one. Give me a second. I'll come back to that. I'm actually gonna try and see if I can whittle down. Some of these are pieces of stuff. So let me just get a few of them out. Because I can't remember if they're actual pieces or if they are in fact like whole vehicles and stuff like that. So let me just do a little bit. I'm not gonna do it all of it. I'm gonna do like a couple of them, and we'll see what we have. Yeah, you know what? Change my mind. I'm gonna do that. So we have this is a vintage collection die-cast Y-wing fighter, decent shape. A little bit of oh no, that's not discoloration. That is just a paint scheme. Okay, yeah, it's missing the little bomb. Okay, I've been able to find some of them. I've seen on people auction them off online, so I may try to get that. We'll see. But it's got the gun on the top. It's definitely going in the sale, so that's cool. We have 2 sets of TIE Fighter wings. I do believe there's a TIE Fighter that's part of it. So let me just get the rest of these unboxed and see what we have. Judging by the shape of this one, I am making an educated guess that this is not... What just fell? Something just fell. Knocked something over. Oh, I think I knocked over my micros from last week. That's all right. Oh, no. I was wrong. This is a loose vintage, incomplete X-Wing fighter. Although I'll look and see if any of the items that it comes with, they might have packed them separately. I honestly can't remember if I bought it loose or complete or partial. These are all just... Okay. Gotta go through these papers seriously because you don't know. You just don't know. Oh, yes. Okay, not Star Wars, but this is what I call Star Wars adjacent. This is the Battlestar Galactica Cylon vehicle. They came out with vehicles. I don't believe this has any missiles with it. Oh, it looks like if it had any missiles, it doesn't look like it has any missiles with it at all. I'm just looking at it's Mattel. It does have, it does have the missiles. Comes with the missiles. Okay, cool. It's a pretty decent one. Not sure if I'm going to sell this one or not, folks. This is Star Wars adjacent. I don't collect really anything outside of Star Wars, but I do enjoy when it's something that I feel like matches. I will say it's not the same size. They did create a set of 3 3/4 inch figures that do work with Star Wars. They're the same size. You can put them in the vehicles and everything. And I did do that. But this is actually, if you look at it closely, you'll see that if you open it up, it has room for a character, but it's not, it's maybe ½ inch, if that, or no, 1.5 inches, 2 inches at the most. So that wouldn't work. So I'm not sure what I want to do with that. All right, this is a container that I'm going to open up last. I want to see what's in there. All right, what else we got? This one's something. I'm going to start. Sticking with the Battlestar Galactica theme, we have the Viper, right? Also comes with its thing. I got to be really careful not to launch this, but it does come with its. I don't know how you launch it. I forget. But oh yeah, okay. So a little fun story. If you don't already know, this right here, and to a lesser extent these right now, what I'm holding in my hand, are essentially the reason we don't have a rocket-firing Boba Fett from 1977, 78, 79. Yes, these were the toys, okay, that Mattel launched around the same time that Kenner launched their toys when Battlestar Galactica, the TV show, came out, and they did have the missile. Oh, okay, all right. So this missile doesn't come out; it just goes. So this is the repaired one that they did. They did a missile that sort of launched and then didn't. In fact, I wonder if the Battlestar Galactica one. Yep, same thing. So these are not the ones that launched missiles. They were the ones that the missiles went, but they didn't stick out. Why? Because they originally did launch the missiles and they were this big, and some kid choked on it and died, sadly, tragically. That's horrible. But because of that, they took them off the market and made them safe, child proof, and that's why we don't have our Boba Fett. Personally, I think it was a wise move. I do appreciate that since then, Kenner has released versions like, commemorative versions that do have it. So you can, finally have your, as an adult collector, you can have that if you really, really want it. I do think I own at least one that does that. I mean, not a collectible, like, I'm talking about a less valuable one. It kind of came its way, so that's cool. Oh my God, I know. I probably should unbox all of these first, but I don't know. I kind of like the unboxing. These are paper and tape. I don't know if there's any more Battlestar Galactica. Again, this is part of a lot. That's why I think judging by the, yeah, this is the TIE Fighter. Now it is missing. I just want to make sure. Are we missing? Okay. I'm just throwing all the paper on the floor to give myself room. Okay. There we go. This has one of the things on the side, so you could put the TIE Fighter together. It does work. It does have its action release sequence. Not 100% sure if it comes with the other one. I thought it did. So hopefully it'll be here in the piles or something. Let's look. We do have a set of X-Wing. We have two sets, or a set of two, I should say. X-Wing. It looks like this one is specifically for the bottom. This one is specifically for the top on this side. It's like, oh, I think they're all like that. Just one of them is kind of cracked off. Okay, so there's two. And I can find these things in the future. All right, getting through it. And we have a vintage land speeder. Good shape. Works. Good working land speeder. A little bit of a foggy windshield, but other than that, decent. That'll go in the sale. Paper. I think we're almost at the end here. Paper. Oh, let me just make sure. Okay. I'm just going through this to make absolutely sure. And usually they include an invoice, which I didn't see here, so that is unfortunate, but okay. And then lastly, we have this little container. I like this little Starlight container. That's fun. And this included some figures, it looks like. We'll see what we got here. Boy, man, when we have this sale, anybody who came last time that thought there was a reasonable amount. Oh, no, these aren't. Okay, full disclosure. These aren't going in the sale. These are the original 12. And you know what? I'm going to tack on to this auction, or to this video. I know my video might run, well, it's only going about 13 minutes. So these are the original 12. We got decent condition. Stormtrooper, Death Squad Commander, 3PO. A little loosey limbed, not too bad. Chewbacca. All right, so it doesn't come with a TIE Fighter secondary thing, so I'm going to have to see if I can acquire one of those. Tusken Raider. Hammerhead is not part of the original, so he might go in the sale. We'll see. Vader with a long tip saber. And Luke with a long tip saber. Good condition, all of them. These are in excellent condition. R2, just the original R2. Jawa. Han Smallhead, which I prefer, personally. Okay, now, the only one of these that has, this is Ben, but he has his saber is losing its tip. That's it. That's the only one that is not in the best of condition. And then, of course, the hard to get Princess Leia. Now, that would be great by themselves, but they include all of their original weapons. So I can... There is one item. Yeah. Yep, I can tell. They all are original. There is this one thing that was in the auction. I have no idea what this is. It's a little tiny piece of plastic. I have no idea. I can't even show it to you. It's so tiny. I'm probably going to property of, this is the person who was the original owner of it. Really, really cool. Now, those are all but Hammerhead are going to stay in the collection. Why? Because I also got myself another one of these. What do you say? What is this you say? Be patient. I have no idea what the purpose of those two things are, or this. I have to just take this out of the collection. Wait for it. I'm actually going to just unbox this. Do it like that. I have to run it. This is the original display, which I already have one, but I wanted another one. Ooh, and it comes with interesting. What is this? I don't think. Oh, I think this might be what some of the stuff came in, but that's okay. So this is essentially I just realized they did something a little stupid. All right, so this is the display case. If I put it on, this is what this is. The display case, the display piece, and it has 12 spots where you can put the figures, right? And they kind of move. Let's get our figures on here, shall we? Okay, I'm gonna actually use this as a well, you know what? Let me do an adjust here. Hang on. Okay. Now there is one error with this. Well, first of all, again, I look for things that have a little bit of wear and tear. This has a little bit of sun damage here. The real issue here is the back. He put the labels on the back. You're supposed to put it on the front. I'm okay with that. I have one, and I believe it is correct. This, I don't think is anything. Or these seem like something that they just used to help pack it. So let's go through this, and we'll get out our Han Solo. I'm just going to put them all on here because this is going to find a nice spot. Now, they don't necessarily, I guess they do fit so that you can actually put them in like that. The amount I paid for this figure with her weapon is worth what I paid. That's how crazy I get. Okay, cool. Okay, let's get Luke in there. Put Luke over here as well. All right, and then we'll put Chewie, and he gets his little bandolier, or not bandolier, his bowcaster. That's it. This is a hard one to put on. He's got to kind of have to wrap himself on there enough. Come on. Are you going to be difficult on camera? All right. Hopefully. I mean, they're not going to. Cool. All right. Then we can put a Tusken Raider with his gaffy stick. Always an odd choice because they don't really hold. Doesn't really hold well on here. But you can try. I'm going to try to do these guys in the back right now. As I said, I have one of these already. I'm going to put all the villains over here. Vader. It's a good Vader. Death Squad Commander gets a blaster. And these are all, they appear to be black blasters, which is what was originally sent out. Stormtrooper gets a blaster. Now, I believe all the other figures are complete because the last, there we go. The last accessory was the Jawa, and he's not, of course, he's not the vinyl cape Jawa. If he was, I can guarantee you the cost for this would have been about 10 times the amount. All right, do I have an Obi-Wan? All right, for now, I'll put this Obi-Wan on here, but I'm telling you flat out, Obi-Wan will be, I have a couple of better Obi-Wans that meaning they have the right saber, or maybe I'll just flip out the saber. But I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, I knew that. I'm trying to make it so that. Okay, and then R2, put R2 on there. Right. Now, you're not really necessarily supposed. It comes with 2 pegs on each. You're not necessarily supposed to do that. But look at this. There it is. This is what started it all, folks. Hundreds, thousands of toys and figures and characters later, it all began with these 12. And I absolutely love that I was able to acquire one of these for a reasonable price, nothing too crazy. I'm sorry that the sticker's on the back side. I don't know whether I'm going to put a sticker on the front side or just leave it as is. And then I don't know if I can do this without knocking it over, but I'll just kind of hold it in the center. And if I move, to kind of move one way or the other. Oop, of course, I was going to drop his thing. So this will go in the display. I have a nice place, perfect setup for this. As I said, I have my original one. Well, it's not my original one. I bought it years later, but still back in the late 80s, early 90s from a friend of my brother's. And now it's sitting in my display, but it's a pain to get to, and it's got other figures on it. But I wanted one that had the 12, the original 12. So there we go. This guy, he'll find his way in the Star Wars sale. This X-Wing, this TIE Fighter will also find his way in the sale, as will the X-Wing, as will the thing. I'm not sure yet about, as will the Y-Wing diecast. Not sure about the 2 Battlestar Galactica. I feel like I kind of want to hold on to them a little bit. They're really cool, like part of the Star Wars adjacent history. The Land Speeder will also go in the sale. So plenty of stuff. This was a mainly sale items. Most of the micro toys will also go in there, but I'm going to try to find items, play sets, and vehicles for them to go into that are supposed to. But whatever I don't find, we will make sure that they go in a sale. All right, guys, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that jazz. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky, and check out all of my other videos. Email me, darthtuba77@gmail.com, if you have any questions, or leave a comment. There's been more and more back and forth coming, a little at a time, in dribs and drabs. Share out the channel, let people know about it. Hit that like button, folks. Apparently, it really, really helps. Okay, I'm not trying to become a new influencer or anything like that. I just want to make sure that enough people get the positivity that I bring out of Star Wars and collecting out into the universe and the galaxies far, far away and very, very near, so people can understand it and share in that positivity. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, may the Force and the toys be with you.